The sun should be measured when the sun is in the middle of Earth in space vertically with the equator. The distance between the equator and the North Pole should be measured as well. A laser beam should be placed at the North Pole and the light should be diagonally straight with the sun. The light of the laser that is diagonally with the sun shows us how many degrees it is. This geometrical measurement that is square-like shows how far the sun is from Earth. The sun lets out 20% of its own light. The other portion of the sun is blocked by the sun itself because the sun is in the dark from half to the bottom down. An imagination that can never be reached. If we were to go into space on top of the sun, we would see the sun's light a lot stronger than we would from Earth. The temperature would be hotter as well. From the top of the sun, we would see 100% of the sun's light because we have full view of the sun. The sun reflected on the mirror. Science says that the sun is 17 million degrees. They open it in half to see the compound of the sun. Who has actually gone to the sun to measure the degrees that it has? People for sure didn't. When it's 100 degrees outside, we can't bear it. We search for shadow. If the satellites in space go to the sun, they would melt. So who else or what else could have gone to the sun to get this answer? I can't seem to understand how the sun can be 17 million degrees. Assumptions should remain assumptions and should not be brought out as facts without proof. The sun doesn't produce energy. It takes its energy from the planets. Before the sun's light, there is another light in space that makes light. The planets and the moon take a reddish color from this light. The planets give the sun light, which the sun is created in space, with two reasons. From center and up from Earth, the sun has light. From the center and down from Earth, the sun is in the dark because of the position of the sun itself. The sun gives 13 hours of light and 11 hours of darkness on Earth. Let's put a mirror outside of a house in the sun. The mirror should be 3 by 3 feet. Take that same mirror with the sun's light on it and reflect it on the inside of the house. Would this process bring warmth to the house? Yes. Take the same mirror and reflect the sun's light in it on another mirror. Take that second mirror and reflect it in a different room of the house. Would this double process bring warmth to the house? Yes again. If the sun was a big mess of flames, the sun's light reflected on the mirror would only give light without the warmth. The sun has a very strong light. This strong light also has the strength of warmth as well. This is our sun. I don't know how many degrees the sun is, but if I had to guess, it would be no more than 300 degrees. Mars is viewed during the day between Earth and the Sun. Mars is the fourth furthest planet away from the Sun. Between the distance of Sun and Earth, there are 215 suns between them. For 6 months that it takes Earth to rotate around the Sun, equal to half of a year. On the other side of the Sun, there are also 215 suns that go between the distance of the Sun and Earth. What about Mars that is so much further away from the Sun? If the world was actually round, we would never be able to see Mars between the Sun and Earth because it's that quote-unquote far away. Yet, we're able to see it. Mars is the only planet that can be seen during the day. Technically, Mars is 430 suns away from Earth. We would only be able to see Mars during the night because this is the position of the view of the Mars. The far distance won't allow you to see it. Mars rotates around the North Star, the Sun, and Earth. Mars is the only planet that comes down south and comes back up north. It moves like the Sun and the Moon. On June 25th, Mars is very close to the Sun in the north, and it waits till the Sun goes down in the south. For 6 months that the Sun takes to go to the south, Mars comes down on the southwest side. Over in the south, after 6 months, on December 25th, Mars is still close to the Sun and waits when the Sun comes back up to the north. The Sun takes 6 months to come north, and Mars comes from the northeast side. When Mars comes down from the southwest side for 6 months, it makes half of the rotation around the Sun. When Mars comes to the northeast side for 6 months, it makes other half of the rotation around the Sun. For 1 year, Mars does a complete rotation around the Earth, the Sun, and the North Star. This is the reason why we are able to see Mars between Earth and the Sun. This is the view of Mars during the day because Mars is actually very close to Earth. With these 2 dates that Mars can only be seen on, in the north and the south side, I would say that Mars, with the gravity that it has with the Sun, it stops the Sun in the north and in the south so the Sun doesn't go further up in the north or any lower in the south. Mars is the only planet that rotates around the Sun. It is the Sun's planet and the key planet that controls the Sun up in space. This is the practice of Mars that rotates around the flat Earth, the Sun, and the North Star.